turned my childhood into a battlefield. I don't know when it started, or maybe I just stopped noticing the change. But one day, I woke up to a world where everything was a war. A battlefield I never asked to fight on, yet I was forced to survive every moment. My father, Hector, had a way of making everything feel like an attack. He didn't raise his voice at first, he didn't need to. It was in the way his eyes narrowed, the way he spoke with precision, as though every word was a weapon aimed directly at me. As a child, I wanted to please him. I wanted to hear him say he was proud of me, to feel the warmth of his approval. But nothing I did was ever enough. My grades weren't high enough, my chores not done well enough, my silence never obedient enough. Everything I was became a reason for him to tear me down, to make me feel small, like I wasn't worth the love he was supposed to give. He made me feel like an opponent. Each day, I woke up with dread, never knowing what would spark the next battle. A wrong word, a misstep, a mistake any child might make, and it was as if I had thrown a grenade into our home. He would explode in anger, his words sharp and cutting, his accusations louder and more painful with every year. By the time I was 10, I could read the room. I knew when to stay silent, when to agree, when to disappear. I learned to avoid his gaze, to shrink into myself, to become invisible so I wouldn't become the target of his frustration. And even then, I was never safe. He would always find something, anything to use against me. The worst part wasn't the physical pain, though that came with the occasional slap or shove. The worst part was the emotional toll, the endless cycle of fear and anger, of love withheld and punishment delivered. He taught me to doubt myself, to question everything I did, to see myself as a constant source of failure. He would sit me down, his voice calm but heavy, crushing my chest. Why can't you just do things right? Why do I always have to fix your mistakes? His words carried disappointment, never love. I would sit there numb, holding back tears, trying to control the anger inside me, but always leaving smaller, weaker than before. As I grew older, the battles became subtle. They weren't always physical or loud, but they never stopped. He would manipulate, guilt trip, and control with precision until I questioned my own reality. The moments I tried to stand up for myself, to assert independence, were met with cold silence or words that cut deeper than any blow. You think you know better than me? You'll never be anything without me. It wasn't just bruises. It was the mental weight, the burden of never being good enough, of always fighting for something I could never win, his approval, his respect. He had turned my childhood into a war zone, where survival meant becoming someone who couldn't cry out. When I left home at 18, I thought the battlefield would end. I thought I would be free from the constant tension, but the scars were already there, invisible but deep. I still hear his voice sometimes, whispering that I'm not good enough. It took years to realize the battles weren't my fault. I hadn't asked to be treated like an enemy in my own home, to be torn down every time I tried to grow, to live, to be myself. Slowly, painfully, I learned I am not my father's creation. I am not the mistakes he claimed I was. And while I can't change the past, I can choose not to fight anymore. I can choose peace, choose healing, choose to be free from the battlefield he forced me into.